Whoa, I guess our sort of ongoing series of the economy is now getting significantly worse because of Donald Trump's, well, blatantly idiotic fucking policies, such as the tariffs, such as cratering every fucking goddamn market except the stock market, which is in a bubble, which is probably inevitably going to burst. I think it's gotten to the point because of how bad he's been with the fucking labor market. It's now like I think every single economist is saying like, oh, there's going to be a recession. The question is when and not if. So that's pretty great that we are currently in this position that it's just going to be a now sort of. It's like, yeah, there's a recession coming. When's it going to happen? Nah, we don't know, but it's going to happen. And people are like, I don't know, making bets at this point for when the inevitable recession is going to happen. But what do we have here? Private payrolls declined in September by 3,200 in key ADP report coming amid shutdown data blackout. So yeah, another consequence of the current government shutdown that's going on is jobs data. Yeah, that's not being put out by any of these federal agencies. So that's pretty fucking epic and great that this is the current situation that we're in. No jobs data is being put out by the White House. I don't know, like not by the White House, but by federal agencies. I don't know, like in the mind of Trump, he probably actually likes that. Let's be honest here, simply due to the fact that, well, all those jobs in his mind are going to be fake, and he, well, it would have made him look bad. So I guess technically speaking, like it's good for him, but it's not going to be good for the overall economy. It's going to make things worse. So what do we have here? Private payrolls saw their biggest decline in 2.5 years during September, a further sign of labor market weakening that compounds the data blackout accompanying the U.S. government shutdown. Companies shed a seasonally adjusted 3,200 jobs during the month, the biggest slide since March 2023. So as far like it should be fairly obvious why a lot of jobs are basically being gotten rid of. I think it's like it's been so far for the month of September. It's been a recorded loss of about 3,000. Well, in addition to the drop in September, it's August payrolls numbers was revised to a loss of 3,000 from in the initially reported increase of 5,400. Yikes! 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 But again, we know why this is broadly speaking happening. It's because of the fucking tariffs. That's probably the biggest sort of problem that's going on here. With inflation now going back up, with the jobs numbers going back or going down, we have a classic case of stagflation here. Now we know that the Fed has decided to lower interest rates to try to incentivize some form of stimulation within the economy from, well, the rich specifically, to try to hire a bunch of people to bring the jobs market back up to see if that'll bring inflation back down. Here's the problem with that. Trump just keeps being incredibly belligerent with the tariffs and is causing incredible fucking uncertainty. And if you know anything about corporations and business and the economy, if there's one thing that they love more than anything else, it's instability. It's a random, doddering old Grandpa Simpson-esque man doing just random bullshit, saying like, "Oh, we have tariffs, but we don't have the tariffs, but we also have some tariffs here, but we don't have any tariffs here. But I don't like this guy, but I kind of want to go after this guy, but like I don't like this thing, blah 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 blah." And it's just like, dog, like this is causing so much instability, so much random bullshit to a recovering economy, right? Like, because he's not inheriting a good economy this time. He's inheriting a recovering economy, which wasn't recovering fast enough. But that's a whole other criticism of course, Joe Biden Build Back Better and the IRA. Obviously, that's a completely different story. We're talking about Trump specifically here. He basically is just doing random, complete bullshit and nonsense to an economy that was coming back from well, COVID, which he too also mismanaged significantly. So it's one of those situations where it's like it's a bunch of compounding factors that are getting worse and worse and worse that he started himself due to his just, well, not I wanted to say economic illiteracy. That's part of the point, but it's also because his brain, because of how much of a doddering old dipshit that he is, is back stuck in like basically 140 years from now, where he thinks like, well, with tariffs they make money. That's how it worked with William McKinley, right? You do the tariff and you make the money, and it's just like that's not how that works, man. Like it's not life's not a fucking video game, okay? It's not like Civilization where you do a deal with someone and then all of a sudden you start making a bunch of money from it or some shit. That's not how that works. That's delusional. It's idiotic. But then again, Trump is a delusional, idiotic fucking man. Like, his brain is completely leaking out of his ears anytime he speaks or looks at anything. So I shouldn't be really surprised about the fact that, I don't know, this doddering old dipshit is just brain leak, no work, don't function properly. But, you know, like, we shouldn't be really surprised by the fact that, oh, the jobs market's getting worse and worse and worse. The report comes from as the founding impasse in Washington, D.C. has led to the first government closure since late 2018 into early 2019. By the way, every single government shutdown that has happened in recent time has been under the Trump administration because, again, these motherfuckers control all three branches of the government and they couldn't pass a fucking budget. It's so fucking pathetic, dude. Failing a deal over the next 2 days, the Bureau of Labor Statistics non-farm payrolls report for September will not be released, nor will the Labor Department put out the weekly jobless claims count on Thursday. The last time the BLS payrolls report was delayed was in 2013. And I assume it's because they're not going to get all the necessary... Well, it's because their offices are not only shut down, but they're probably not getting the as accurate good numbers as they possibly could be getting right now because of everything being fucking shut down. Yeah, and it's only going to make the economy worse because, again, like I said before, without these numbers, which Trump has already flirted with the fact that he wants to make the numbers more inaccurate to, for lack of a better term, just satiate his ego because he's just really pissed about the fact that he's not a very good steward of the economy. Again, this is the same dude who bankrupted 6 businesses, including a fucking goddamn casino. How the fuck do you bankrupt a casino? How do you do that? Very, very fucking stupid. Oh, yeah, 1000%. Like, there are no full-time fucking positions at any employer right now, boy meets me. It's all part-time work that's mostly being put in. Which makes you think, like, I wonder how the jobs sort of, like, count in sort of, like, unemployment is being calculated necessarily. Because with shit like that, that means it's really fucking bad if that's the fucking case, right? Like, because the unemployment counts don't count underemployment. And that's a case of being underemployed. And none of that shit gets counted properly. So it is, like, really, really bad. And just like the video we saw from Ray Like Sunshine talking about how underemployment does not get counted within a lot of the unemployment statistics. The actual unemployment, including underemployment, I think is about at 24% for real unemployment within the United States of America. This is, of course, including underemployment. So you're telling me that people are, well, might be upset about the fact because of just Donald Trump's fucking dipshittery and tomfoolery and just how poorly the economy has been stewarded for the past, I don't know, 50 years at this point, that people might be getting more and more pissed with the job that the president might be doing in terms of this particular aspect. I never would have thought such a thing could be possible. And by the way, with all these numbers getting delayed that businesses rely on in order to be able to make business decisions, it's only going to compound and it's going to make the situation worse. It's only going to make the snowball go basically way, way faster. And Donald Trump's not going to do anything about this because he doesn't in reality actually care about any of this stuff. Because he's okay with it so long as the stock market's looking good because that's the only measure that he thinks of what a successful economy is. But also all of his billionaire buddies are the main ones benefiting from this current economic malaise. So, meh. We don't give a shit in reality. All my rich buddies are benefiting from it, so I don't give a shit. Federal Reserve officials count on the payrolls releases as they make decisions on interest rates. Yeah, that's true, huh? I completely forgot about that. So, for all the talk in particular about Trump saying how he wants interest rate cuts, that's going to be a lot harder to calculate if the numbers for the job market are either being delayed or not being very fucking reliant. Because how do they know what rate cuts to make if they don't have accurate numbers? That's a little interesting, isn't it? The Fed next meets October 28th to 29th, meaning there won't be another payrolls reports before then. ADP's count then takes an added significance as markets widely expect the central bank to cut another quarter point off its key borrowing rate. So that's basically what the Fed's doing right now, is they're bringing the interest rates from 4.5% and they're cutting it about a quarter of a percentage each and every single time, probably to about like 1.25% or 1.5% is, I believe, what they've indicated, or at least that's what Jerome Powell has said. So we'll see if this does anything. I don't think it's going to do anything in terms of the job market. I think it's only going to make everything worse, to be quite honest, because again, like, the only reason why Trump wanted the rate cuts to begin with is because he wanted people to basically gamble on the fucking bond market, just like the fucking stock market. Because in reality, like I've said before, the only economic indicator that Donald Trump overall cares about is the fucking stock market. Why? Oh, because he's a fucking billionaire. So of course that's the only thing he cares about. He's got fucking stocks and he's going to get rich off of the fact that, well, the current stock market's bubbling in the way that it is. Job losses spread across sectors during September, offset by a 33,000 increase in education and health services as schools reopened and healthcare continued its long streak of hiring. Makes sense why there's a lot of healthcare and hospitality workers, I think, that are being hired right now because of aging populaces. The Gen Xers and, of course, the baby boomers are retired / retiring, so a lot more hospice, hospitality, leisure care workers are going to be necessary in order to help take care of this aging population. Elsewhere, leisure and hospitality, a key sector for consumer demand, saw a loss of 19,000 as vacation season wound down. Huh. Well, I guess it's like leisure and hospitality. It's a little different, right? That makes sense, right? Simply due to the fact I'm surprised that it's actually the firings are happening now and it didn't happen even earlier. I'm assuming they probably did happen earlier, considering the fact that nobody's visiting the U.S. right now. All the tourism metrics have been going down significantly, and a bunch of businesses have to cut back as a result of that. Like, we all know about the reports of, well, Canadians not going to Maine anymore, right? Like, because that's a very common thing. A lot of Canadians like to drive over to Maine in order to, well, get some seafood and go to a fucking cottage or some shit and experience the outdoors in the U.S. That went down significantly because of Donald Trump's, like, 51st state talk, all the tariff talk, and seemingly the fact that he has, like, no respect for Canada at all whatsoever. So, yeah, and people in Canada probably fucking hate him. And, by the way, the boycotts in Canada of American products, yeah, those are still happening. Like, we're still going strong on that shit. I'm still going strong on that shit. If I see a U.S. I'm not fucking picking that shit up. Fuck you. Like, you guys can go fuck yourselves, like, as far as I'm concerned. Like, fuck you, America. You guys fucking suck balls. The other services categories posted a drop of 16,000, while professional and business services were off 13,000. Trade, transportation, utilities declined by 7,000. Construction lost 5,000. So much for all these sectors that Trump wanted to see increases in. They're all going down. I wonder why. On a broad scale, service providers decreased 28,000. Goods producers shed 3,000. Businesses with fewer than 50 employees lost 40,000 employees, while companies with 500 or more employees added 3,300. It's very fucking interesting because, again, like we've said before, who are the main people who are going to lose out and basically, well, struggle the most with the tariffs? It's going to be small fucking businesses. They're going to be forced to have to cut back significantly on people simply due to the fact that they don't have enough warehouses and storage like the big fucking companies and corporations in order to be able to justify, well, hiring more and more people. So it's just like, like, it's not great, dude. Like, the jobs market is a huge indicator for the fact that, yeah, dude, like, it's gonna be pretty fucking bad, and it's a huge recession indicator saying, like, I mean, the jobs market is just, like, shitting the bed. People are constantly losing their jobs, and it's harder than ever for people to even find their jobs. And most of the jobs that people have been getting back, in particular, have just been like, well, part-time work, not even like actual paid positions. It's a complete fucking shit show. It's like it's been said before. At this point, the recession is inevitable. It's merely a matter of when and not if. Despite the strong economic growth we saw in the second quarter, this month's release further validates what we've been seeing in the labor market, that U.S. employers have been cautious with hiring, ADP's chief economist, Nilla Richardson, said. Very interesting that I wonder what the indicators are for it's a strong economic growth. Because again, if it's the stock market, then technically speaking, yes, it is accurate to say that. The thing is that the stock market is not a very good fucking indicator, and this is the exact same criticisms that people had of fucking Biden during the affordability crisis, which are accurate criticisms. The stock market is not a good indicator for material conditions on the ground. It's, well, let's be honest here. All the other things that are shitting the bed right now is the currency of the U.S. is currently shitting the bed. That's been seeing steady declines and decreases in terms of its, well, strength. And also, what else? The labor market being as bad as it is. Most of the jobs that are being replaced in the current labor market are mostly, let's be honest here, part-time work, which is not paying as well and doesn't have as many good benefits for people. Just terrible in general. And more people are having to get more and more jobs in order to be able to just survive, be able to pay rent and have food on the fucking table. It's really bad. And inflation, affordability is only getting worse and worse and worse. So again, it's just a complete perfect storm, a complete perfect little snowball of just everything culminating into what is possibly the worst economic times in a fucking while since COVID, let's be honest here. The U.S. economy did expand 3.8% in the second quarter and is on pace for a 3.9% gain in this third quarter, according to the Atlanta Fed's GDP Now data tracker. However, concerns have increased over the state of the labor market, even with unemployment rate at a relatively low 4.3%. This is a very inaccurate number, just like has been said before by that Ray Like Sunshine video. I'll probably stick in the description below. The unemployment rate does not count people who are underemployed, like I've mentioned before. People who have who could be working full-time, well-paying jobs, but are forced to have to work lower, like gig work economy. Those don't get counted as being a part of the unemployment rate. And underemployment. Basically, yeah, the underemployed rate must be massive. Exactly. That's what I'm saying, Boy Meets Minnie. I think in Ray Like Sunshine's video, it said to be 24%. That is massive. And the underemployed rate basically means, like, you could be working a full-time, like, job, but most of the stuff that's available right now are shittier part-time work or contract sort of like gig work, which is not full-time career employment. So in terms of that respect, yeah, the unemployment rate is low. However, that underemployment stuff, that doesn't get counted in this rate. So it's an inaccurate number. So that's a really, really big problem. My baseline outlook doesn't see the labor market softening much further, but there are risks, Boston Fed President Susan Collins said Tuesday. In particular, I see some increased risks that labor demand may fall significantly short of supply. I wonder why that might be the case. I wonder why there might not be as many jobs available and there might be a lot more people who are staying around on unemployment. I have no idea why that could be fucking happening. That's a little interesting. Gig work is technically full-time in terms of time, too. Same effort and knowledge, just exploited. Oh, it's like a completely unregulated fucking shit show. Like, it's really, really, really bad. Like, it's one of those situations where it's just like, God. Like, people are being forced to have to only get part-time work because there's just, like, there's nothing they can do, right? There's no other jobs that are available. All the good jobs are either, well, taken or just not there within the economy. It's pretty fucking bad. Like, the supply of jobs, as being said here, is just really, really low. leading to a more meaningful and unwelcome increase in unemployment rate. The consensus view for September was a non-farm payrolls gain of 51,000 in the BLS report, which, unlike ADP, includes government jobs. Oh yeah, like let's not even mention about the amount of federal workers that have been getting cut and also getting seemingly rehired because they were furloughed. Basically given time off with pay, like vacation pay, basically. So it's like good for those federal workers. They just basically gamed the system because of like Trump's fucking idiocy, and he's being forced to have to rehire those people because there's no one else available for those particular jobs. It's so fucking stupid. Even with the slowdown in hiring, wages in September grew 4.5% on an annual basis. Little change from August, ADP said. However, the rate of increase slowed to 6.6% for those changing positions, down a half percentage point from August. ADP said it recalibrated past counts based on BLS benchmark revisions released in September that resulted in the sharp downward move in the September figure of 43,000. The narrative remains the same of a slowing in hiring momentum, Richardson said on CNBC. A correction, ADP recalibrated past counts based on BLS benchmark revisions released in September, and that resulted in a downward move in the September figure of 43,000. An earlier version misstated a month. Very cool and very epic. So, as expected, whoa, you're telling me that Trump has no fucking idea about how to run an economy, but it's okay, guys. The stock market's going up and up and up, so therefore that's the only indicator that this billionaire out of touch fucking recluse uses as a sort of indicator for what is a successful economy. And in reality, guys, it turns out with high stock market numbers, that's not exactly a very, very accurate indication for the real economy, that being affordability, inflation, and a bunch of other fucking bullshit, which have been getting worse currently under Donald Trump because of just how fucking stupid his tariffs are. So yeah, I mean, like I said before, at this point, we're in the position where it's just a recession is inevitable. It's just merely a matter of when is it going to fucking happen. So, who the fuck knows when it's going to happen? Oh, yeah, and that's also another great sort of position that you're outlining, Boy Meets Mini. The thing is the stock market's not the real economy. It's just a fucking gambling machine of just random numbers and algorithms where just random bullshit fucking happens. And it's not real. It's completely and utterly fucking fake. And all of these motherfuckers have their assets in, well, fake shit. Stuff that's not real, that's not fucking tangible. That being property, casinos, crypto, all this fucking bullshit. Where all these motherfuckers have their assets currently, which is why they're not feeling any of the effects of, well, basically, the weakening economy, and everyone else is feeling the effects of it because they're being fundamentally exploited. But yeah, I don't think there's really much else to say besides there is going to be a recession. It's merely a matter of, well, when and not if. Just gotta wait and see when it happens.